Viewers, I'm glad that you are watching and I hope you find some helpful tips. Remember, you can leave hearts if you're rewatching in the app, and you can also swipe to share. And welcome to those people coming in. It shows me I have 3 viewers, but I'm not seeing a list of who's joining, so I'm hoping that you are hearing me okay. Hey Patrice, I started over because it was showing 0 and I was afraid that my connection was not making it broadcast, so that is why I hopped on twice. Hey Jessica, hey Mandy. Welcome. I am Melissa from MakerySpace.com in case you're new, and I love to equip and educate Etsy sellers about the more left-brained aspects of running their business. And I have been scoping each weekday for the past couple weeks, except for when I was sick. Welcome, Danielle. Just trying to cover some practical topics. And yesterday I covered a couple of questions that someone had sent in to me, and today I'm going to cover a question as well. And I don't see Katie in here, but hopefully she'll be able to watch the replay and get the answer to her question. So she wanted to know about the best image size to upload for listing photos. So I wanted to talk about that, but also there's a lot of kind of nuances to your images and your listings and how they show up in different places. And I did a blog post about it last August, which I will link at makeryspace.com/scope. But I'll kind of talk about that a little bit because, you know, once you upload your image, it's not just like, okay, my image is there and everything is fine. There's some things that you need to check to see how it's showing up in different situations. So in general, as far as image sizes, your profile picture is supposed to be about 400 pixels square. And a lot of these, it's good to hit the dimensions because the quality will usually be the best if you upload and don't upload them too small. And if you upload them too big, it could just take a really long time to upload. So 400 inches square for your profile picture of your face, which I highly recommend that your profile picture is a picture of you because people connect with other people, okay? So you have a place to put your shop icon. So if you have a logo, you can put it there, which is down lower, but that top picture should be of your smiling face. Then your shop icon, 500 pixels square. And then your banner is 760 long by 100 tall. That's really a kind of an awkward size, and sometimes it's difficult with that 100 pixel tall part, but that's what we have to work with to get that shop banner. Okay, so that's those other little spots for pictures in your shop. Now, another thing is your profile picture and your shop icon will both show on your profile page when someone clicks on your name and goes to your profile where you give a little blurb about yourself that every Etsy account has, even if they're just a buyer account. Those will both show up on there, and your shop icon will be clickable to your shop. Okay, so for your listing photos, Etsy recommends that they be between 800 and 1,000 pixels wide. More than that's going to be hard to upload. Lower than that, customers can't really click the zoom button to get a better picture. So whatever you upload, Etsy does reduce the size for your listing. Now, this is what's true of Chrome for sure. I don't know if it's different in other browsers, but Etsy changes it to 570 pixels wide. So even if you upload a photo that's 1,000 pixels wide, it will be reduced to 570 pixels wide. But then when someone clicks that zoom button, they will see the full size of the photo that you uploaded. I definitely recommend uploading the larger photos. I didn't do that in the beginning, so a lot of my photos that have been from like when I first started my shop are a smaller size. They're like 400 by 600, and so there's really not much to zoom in on when someone clicks on that. But my newer listings, like in the last year or so, I do make larger so that that zoom is helpful. The first photo, it's recommended that you have a landscape or square photo, and that's because your listing photo is cropped for the thumbnails that show up in search and that show up when someone's just on the main page of your shop. And it's really kind of hard to get the right part in if your photos are vertical. It's a lot easier to get that part in when they're square or horizontal. And I've actually found it's really the easiest, at least for me, when the photo is square, to get that focal point right in the middle for the thumbnails. So I've actually started doing most of my listing photos square in the last year or so. And also, photos 2 through 5 are going to have the same orientation as that first photo. So let's say you use a landscape, which is a horizontal photo for your first picture. And then for your second listing photo, you have a square photo. It's going to have gray on each side. So it's going to fit the square in the middle of that landscape-shaped spot, and then you're going to have gray bars. Or let's say you use a square photo for your first listing, and then your first photo and your second photo is landscape, then you're going to have gray at the top and bottom of your photo. So keep that in mind, because the images, if you have different orientations of images and you don't change those, then there will be some gray around the edges, and it will be shrunken down in size when someone is viewing your listing. One way you can do that is, and this is on my post that I'll link at MakerySpace.com/scope, is you can go in and you can, once you upload the photo, you can make that change so that, and it will require a little bit of cropping and adjusting so that your listing photos, all of them show at the full size, but it does require a change if they're not the same orientation to begin with. So one thing, I don't want to cover really everything. There's a lot to cover as far as how different things appear in different places on Etsy. But if you are shopping in a browser, if you're a buyer and you're using a browser on a computer, there is a certain way that photos show up. But if you're using the app, like on the computer, when you do a search, all of the photos are the same size, right? All the thumbnails are exactly the same. It's uniform rows and columns in search results. It's not true in the app. The app is almost more like a Pinterest feed. So if someone has longer photos, they actually take up more real estate in the search results in the app. Same is true of square photos. They take up more space in the app than landscape photos. So if you go into the app and do a search, you will see that that is true. So that's something to think about too with square photos, because you get a little bit more space in search results there. Now, the really long photos like you would use on Pinterest, I really don't recommend that on Etsy, and the main reason is because when you do the really long photo for your first photo, and then if your next one is not a long one and it's landscape, when someone clicks to that next photo in your listing, like on a laptop, they really can't even see any part of the picture, because the gray area at the top is so big that until they scroll down, they can't even see any part of that second listing photo or third, fourth, or fifth. So I can understand the appeal of wanting to do Pinterest type of pictures for your listing photos for when they're pinned. But if you're going to do that, I would recommend that you do them all that way so that you don't end up with these tiny photos that you can't even see till you scroll down on subsequent images. Okay. Does anyone have any questions about the images? I really cover this really well in that post. So it gives visuals, it gives an example of each place, what it looks like in search, what it looks like in your shop, what an individual listing looks like, and all those things. And you can see I use the same listing from my shop in every example, so you can compare how things look. And I give you some tips for how to check your own photos and the things that you should look for in different places. So that will help you, so you're not all of a sudden you find out, wow, I have an important part of my picture that's not showing up in certain places where people find me, like in search results or something. You don't want parts to be cut off that are really important, that would keep people from clicking through to your listing and possibly purchasing it. Okay, any questions at all about image sizes? And you'll find different people will have different opinions on the best uploaded size that works for them. So that what I gave you is just what Etsy recommends, and it's worked fine for me. But there are some people that have this exact dimensions that they like to upload, and so you might be able to find those if you look in the Etsy forums or Google that. Okay, well that is it for today then. If you have any question that you would like me to answer in one of these, yeah, Patrice, get your sweet smiling face up there. If you have any questions that you would like me to answer in one of these scopes, then just go to makeryspace.com/scope and scroll down, and there's a little box that you can fill out with your name and email and what your question is or what topic you would like me to cover, because I love to make sure that I'm covering things that you want to hear. Okay, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.